Welcome back. Today we're going to be looking into point gradient form. Point gradient form is just basically another way of writing an equation of a straight line. So just like any mathematical concept, right? We love formulas. Formulas make it much easier for us to solve things. An important formula for this is that if we want to find the equation of a straight line, which has given us the gradient and a point of an x1 and y1, then its equation that we can create is using this formula here. Y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. So we will use this formula to create an equation when we are given a gradient and a point. Okay, so that's the formula. Let's look at our example here. Our example says, find the equation of the line that passes through the points A, -1, 5, those are my coordinates for A, and point B, 2, -3. So I've got given 2 points. Just like what I said when forming or introducing my formula, right? I need to be given a gradient and a point. The example is going to be a little bit more complicated, but it shouldn't be too hard. Okay, if I get 2 points, right, in a question, I can easily find my gradient. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to write down, well, let's find the gradient, right? To find the gradient, I'm going to use these 2 points here. Okay, so to use those 2 points, what I'm going to do is I'm going to label as x1, y1 for my point A. And my point B, I'm going to label x2, y2. Always label because this will come in handy for future references. Okay, so to find my gradient, if I get 2 points, I shouldn't use rise over run. I'm going to use y1 or y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, the reason why I'm using this one and not rise over run is because from my previous video, I said that rise over run would be very, very beneficial for you if you get given a graph. If you get given 2 points, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 would be beneficial for you to use this, okay, to find the gradient. So thankfully I have labeled, and so I'm going to just sub in what my y2 is, which is -3, minus my y1, which is 5, all over my x2, which is 2, minus my x1, which is a -1. I put it in the brackets so that I can identify that it is separate. Then what I'm going to do next is I notice that these 2 symbols here, a minus and a minus, they're the exact same sign, so I'm going to turn that into a plus. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite it so that it makes it clearer for me. Okay, you can put this into the calculator. -3 minus 5 should give me -8, all over 2 plus 1, 3. So my gradient would be -8 over 3. Once I found my gradient, I'm going to form my equation. So the second step is I'm going to use this formula. Y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. So I'm going to write it down here. My next step is form equation. I'm going to write it down. Y minus y1 equals m bracket x minus x1. All right, so I know what my gradient is, which is I know what my m is. Do I know what my y1 and x1 is? Yes, I do, from this point here. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to bring it down. My point A here is -1, 5. Just going to label it again, x1, x1, y1. Then what I'm going to do is sub in what I know, okay? So it must be y minus, what's my y1? 5, equal to, what's my m? I figured out at the top, which was -8 over 3. Open the bracket, x minus, what's my x1? My x1 is -1. I'm putting in the brackets so that I know. Then what I'm going to do is, before I even expand the brackets, I'm going to make it look a bit neater. I notice that this minus and a minus are together. A minus and a minus turns into a positive. And I'm just going to rewrite it so that it makes it look nicer for me to work with. Okay. Once I've worked with this, I'm going to expand the brackets. So this is what we learned in algebra. To expand the brackets, I'm going to multiply it. So on my left-hand side, it'll be y minus 5 equal to -8/3 times x. Should give me -8x plus -8/3 times 1. It gives me a -8/3. I'm not done yet. I need to get rid of this 5, or -5 here, so that it can be y equals to something. So to get rid of that, I need to add this by 5 on both sides. Okay, once I have added both sides, I'm now just going to put it into my calculator. So this 5 and 5 is going to cancel out. And I'm going to have y equals -8/3x. And I'm going to put into the calculator -8/3 plus 5. And it should give me a +7/3. And that should be my equation. And that should be it for today. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye.